I'm very excited for this match. So what I've got for you today is a best-of-5 series of high-level StarCraft 2, where all of the games, they are played on new maps that were recently produced for the new StarCraft 2 Team Liquid map contest. In case you're unfamiliar, the TLMC, it usually determines eventually what the ladder map pool and therefore the tournament map pool in StarCraft 2 is going to be like. Balance, of course, is very important as far as the units go, but the maps have a significant influence as well when it comes to the balance of the game. And I always get very excited whenever new maps are around, so this particular series, all of the games are going to be played on new maps, and the first one, I kid you not, it is called Maganatha. To make it even worse, the map maker, I think it's Hyper1, he sent me a message on Twitter after he submitted all of the maps for the TLMC, all of his maps that he's recently made. And he said, Loko, what do you think of this map name? What do you think of it? I complained about the map Jaganatha for like however long that map was around for, and apparently now he's made a map called Maganatha. I wouldn't be surprised if at some point it makes it to the tournament map pools as well. But spotting right here in the top left-hand corner, playing with the blue Protoss probes, we have Gerald, one of the very best European Protosses, and his opponent playing random in this particular series. We're looking inside of the main base of Astrea. Did Astrea play... I think he played what we can consider the Eric, didn't he? Yeah, he went for a 15 hatch, extracted trick into an Overlord. Yep, and then a spawning pool on the back of this. Okay, so Astrea for some reason has decided to play random in this particular series. I don't really know exactly why. I was trying to figure out exactly what his MMR currently is with Protoss, which of course is his main race. But as we're making this video, he's not even ranked with Protoss on the ladder. So currently he's mostly playing Terran. He's currently the rank 14 in Grandmaster League on the North American ladder with Terran at 5.9k MMR, and Gerald is currently sitting at rank 10 on the European server at 6.5k MMR. So Gerald, honestly, looking really strong right now. We'll have to see how well this goes against Astrea's Zerg, but let's talk about this. So there's the Team Liquid map contest. The Team Liquid map contest is pretty elaborate, actually. There's a lot of different phases. So first off, you have the map submission phase, where everybody can make their maps and they can send it over. Then there's the judging phase. Then there's the test tournament, the public voting phase, the iteration phase, the TLMC winners get announced, and then eventually, whenever Blizzard remembers, we may very well get new maps added to the StarCraft 2 ladder as well, but that is always the biggest question mark in my mind. Whoever works at Blizzard on StarCraft 2, it'd be awesome if this time around it could happen a little bit quicker. But I'm getting ahead of myself. The phase of the tournament, or I guess the TLMC, the map contest that we are currently in, is the judging phase. So you may have noticed that the tournament phase was after the judging phase, and we already have a best-of-5. That is because a couple of the StarCraft 2 content creators, Dave Testa most notably, he sent me these replays because apparently he decided to run a tournament already. So I can imagine that some of the maps we're gonna have a look at today, they're gonna be pretty mediocre at best, but I don't really know. I haven't seen any of these new maps yet, so I guess we're gonna have to, oh my god, we have a very quick Roach War. We're gonna have to judge it a little bit for ourselves as well, but I always get very excited whenever these new maps are around, because when you cast the same games, or not the same games, but when you cast games on the same maps over and over and over again, you always, you're ready for a little bit of variety once again. Anyhow, so Maganatha. There's a Roach Warren coming up. We've got some hyper-aggression here for Astrea, but let's look around the map for just a second. Nothing all too crazy. This is a relatively easy to take 5th base, it seems. Yeah, these first 5 bases are pretty easy. Not bad at all. Expansion over here. There's a watchtower. Now, there's something interesting going on with the rocks. I'm assuming if you knock down those rocks, Did he just... Okay, he only made 3 roaches, and now he's going back to drones. We're marching the queens as well? What is going on, Astrea? Maybe Astrea has been looking at those Eric replays for a little bit too long. This... a double queen roach push? I don't think that this rush distance is really that short, is it? We already have a shield battery, we've got a void ray coming up. There's really no way that Astrea is going to deal significant amounts of damage. Anyhow, we've got another watchtower over here too. Same concept, I guess, as on altitude. I think you can knock down this cooling tower, it destroys the watchtower, and then eventually you can take this base. Probably how it works. There's another expansion over there too. So yeah, there's some speedy zones over here in the top right. This all looks very interesting, but I guess we'll have to have a look right here at the center of the map instead. There's a drone here too. What are you doing, Astrea? We have a couple of spore crawlers building at home. What is Astrea doing? There's too much to talk about, man. Astrea. What? Oh my god. Really? Well, he got sniped right away, but that was cute. He's gonna just do it again. Maybe, this is like the next phase, right? Okay, well, it's not gonna happen, man. Gerald's a little too good for this. Okay, even a drone gets sniped. Cute little attempt right there from Astrea, though. I thought he was gonna try and knock at the front door of the opponent. And you know what? Judging by the amount of shield batteries here, Gerald was thinking the same thing. But this was mostly just, I guess, to deny creep. Or to deny expansions on the other side of the map. That explains why he only made such a small amount of units, too. But now he's gonna have to make the march of shame all the way back home. Gerald looked at it once and he immediately knew exactly what he needed to do, even though he was a bit confused earlier on. I do believe he's the favorite going into this match, right? So, yeah, him playing super safe and just making as many shield batteries as possible, I really don't mind it. Okay, so, initial impressions of this map so far. The center bit of it seems very normal-ish, right? At least nothing all too crazy. But then the bottom left and the top right seem sufficiently weird. Okay, nice little bit of control right here coming out of Astrea. Queens over here are not gonna win that battle though. They're gonna need a little bit more. I'm actually a little concerned right here for these Void Rays. They may just be able to deal critical amounts of damage. Yeah, Void Ray over here also pretty sweet. Normally Void Rays aren't a very popular unit in the current meta of StarCraft 2, but I mean, they're not bad. Spire in the meantime coming up here as well for Astrea. Spore Crawler in the main base is gonna try and, well, buy some time. I think what he's really hunting for, though, is that third base, right? The third base is pretty vulnerable, especially when you get even more lasers going. I've got a feeling with Prismatic Alignment, this hatchery could fall. I mean, he does have to activate it, though. There you go. He's making the beam thick. One of the voids, okay. Immediately cancels the ability. Yeah, that expansion. Okay, it's not gonna die. But this is really bad, though. It's not good for our Zerg whatsoever. Here's more Protoss units knocking on its front door, too. So, I've got a feeling that this game is mostly over. I mean, he's trying his best, Astrea that is, but he's only got a bunch of queens. And last time I checked, queens are pretty good, but they're not that good, where they can hold an entire Protoss army by themselves. The third hatchery does indeed end up going down. Okay, well, a little bit of miscontrol right there from Gerald, as he's trying to target fire down the drones with that group of Void Rays from the right. Okay, we're gonna stick in this for a little bit longer, but in the meantime, the next plan has already started up here for Gerald. He's finishing even the charge research. 7 mutas are coming up. Those mutas are gonna have to put in a stupid amount of work. I've got a feeling that the Void Rays alone are gonna be pretty nice, but we don't really have a lot of anti-air here for Gerald, so maybe there's a chance that Astrea manages to hold. The problem is, at this point, it's 3-base Protoss versus effectively 2-base Zerg, which is never a good situation to be in as a Zerg player. Here come the mutas. They probably wanted to hide themselves and then suddenly reveal themselves on the other side of the map, but that's not going to happen. Okay, one of the Zealots was even split off from the pack. Now a Phoenix starts up. Phoenixes are amazing against mutas, but you know what? Astrea is going to be able to stabilize for the time being. And it's not like Protoss has an amazing economy on the back of this either. Yeah, so this is a cooling tower over here. Very interesting. So these are speed circles. Yeah, they're not the slow circles. So you could technically use this as a highway to go around the map. I actually gotta say, I really do like the look of the bottom left-hand corner and then also the top right-hand corner. Like all of these things that are going on here, they're a little different. It's a difficult thing for me to judge off of, well, just this one match, especially where it doesn't seem like that's ever going to come into play, but I do like the idea of it overall. Pro gamers, as we probably all know by now, they're not very good at, well, looking at maps and thinking, ooh, I'm excited to play on that one. Generally speaking, the pros, ooh, as the main base is in some trouble here, they prefer playing the same maps over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. But I think this map may be sufficiently weird enough where they're willing to give it a try, right? Sufficiently normal, maybe is a better way to put it. You know what? That hatchery lives. The Void Rays end up going down. Okay. I don't think I like this for our Zerg, or, you know, our Zerg infestation over here, because he's technically a Protoss. But he's currently only laddering with Terran, so maybe he's a... I don't know. I don't think I like this all too much for him, but it's not as horrible as it was earlier. That being said, though, this is still a Protoss army that's been outgrowing him. Losing those Void Rays does kind of suck. We have a lot of Corruptors right now, but the Corruptors don't really achieve that much. Maybe supply-wise, at the end it wasn't so bad for Astrea, but he's got a ton of supply caught up in Corruptors that don't have any flying units to kill anymore. Very good pivot right there from Gerald, of course. Next up, we find ourselves on a map called the Green Kingdom. Secret, the joys of random. Okay, Astrea, he's spawned in as Protoss. I think this is gonna be a little bit more of a competitive game. I wouldn't be too surprised. Fun little attempt right there though from Astrea. I gotta say, Maganatha, other than the map name, it looked really fun. Yeah, I mean, it's a little too early to tell because we didn't really see any of the cute map mechanics come into play that we had in the corners of the map, but certainly did look pretty good on the outside. Anyways, ooh, look at that. It's like a welcoming committee over here whenever you come up that ramp. Actually kind of beautiful. Whoa. Look at this T-piece right over here, man. It's like playing Tetris. Yeah, it is kind of like playing Tetris. This is a weird Tetris shape, though. There's about 5 dozen locations where you can hide overlords on this map, it seems. Is that an in-base gold? With the gases on the wrong... Oh, there's an unbuildable plate over here. I was gonna say, that'd be really strange. I think that's an unbuildable plate. So you can... Well, you can destroy this, of course, but you're gonna need some units to pull that off. But technically, I guess you're supposed to mine this from the other side. I don't know if there's gaps in between these minerals here for units to go through. I highly doubt it. Because if... Nah, there's no way that that is the case. It looks like there's space over here, but I don't think so. Otherwise, Zerglings are certainly gonna run into your base. Yeah. Zerglings would be running in at the first possible moment. Okay. So, what exactly... This is still very strange, though. Yeah, so these unbuildable bricks, plates, bricks, whatever... they have 400 health, it seems. So you can actually expand here quite easily, but I feel like the layout in general, probes that are mining this are gonna have to travel way further back to the Nexus. Not entirely sure. Anyways, Astrea, he's decided to go for a proxy pylon over here on the left side of the map. What are we proxying? A Twilight Council. Okay, so he's got a single gateway start here. Gerald here assuming that his opponent is thinking of making an expansion. Yeah, he's looking around on his side of the map too right now, just to make sure that there's nothing all too crazy happening. Putting a nice little zigzag motion right there on the minimap, fair enough. This center part of the map is very strange, isn't it? So these rocks over here can be destroyed, obviously it's mirrored. There's a lot of rocks on this map actually. Oh my god, there's rocks everywhere. I don't know. I don't think I like the center bit all too much here, but obviously, again, this is a little too early for me to judge. Is Gerald going to find this proxy? That's my main question. It's, by the way, Blink. I thought maybe he was thinking about going Dark Shrine or something along those lines, but no, I think he is going to see it. There's a lot of locations on this map. There's so many tight choke points, though. Very interesting. Okay, so he scouts it, but is there really a whole lot that he can do about this, right? So there's a gateway added on here as well for Astrea. Third gateway inside of the main base. Now we're gonna go for a Dark Shrine. Okay, I see. Gerald already has a couple Stalkers over here. Yeah. So apparently Astrea decides to just give up on this as he decides to go for a counterattack. So, yeah, he never finished Blink, I guess by being spotted, which... I'm surprised that he was surprised that he got spotted, because he really didn't have a whole lot going on right there to prevent himself from getting scouted. But anyways, upon getting spotted, I guess he cancelled the Blink upgrade and decided to go into the Dark Templar instead. Fair enough. This does mean that the DTs are going to be quite late, though. Proby is still going to town. Probe over here as well. Okay, at least puts down a couple of pylons here to make sure that this expansion for Gerald is not going to be coming up anytime soon. Okay. The problem right now for Astrea is that he doesn't really have a good location to warp in from. Plus, he doesn't have a warp prism or anything like that. So DTs are going to have to wander all the way across the map, which is going to take a long while. Both pylons here will eventually get killed, and that will allow Gerald to expand behind this. Okay, Astrea does save this from Probius. Probius was looking mighty scary, but at the very least the Twilight Council and the Gateway get to live. Proxy pile on the left side of the map from Astrea also got scouted, but now these Stalkers in blue are trapped. Couple of more Stalkers, though, are coming up. Couple of more? Nice. Good English, Lowko. Very well done. Couple of more Stalkers will indeed end up sniping the ones in red. Can he get one more? I don't think so. No recall here is gonna happen either. So Astrea loses everything. In the meantime, though, he's got more Stalkers here. Going for a pylon to try and repower this position. He does have a Dark Shrine at this point, but he doesn't make any DTs. That's because apparently he wants to... Well, he doesn't want to spoil the surprise yet. He decides to go for the Shadow Strike research, which is a very long research. At the same moment, we do have the Stalkers now in red, marching towards the opponent's side. I don't cast a lot of PvP on the channel. As you can see, PvP can be incredibly dynamic. Ooh, Gerald locking his opponent in there. You're stuck in here with me, buddy. Microing the Stalkers back to the safety of the shield battery. Gerald actually saves the probe right there by making a pylon. There is some proper high-level decision-making going on in this match so far, man. Oh, the Dark Templar, they get warped in on the other side. That's what we're doing? Is that what he was trying to do the entire time? I didn't even think of that. Okay, so now suddenly there's DTs in the base. He's moving them in a staggered motion too, so they can split up and hopefully not all get sniped at the same time, like this bad boy right over here. Good reaction speed right there from our Protoss. Eventually, though, the unbuildable plates here go down. Gerald decided to move across here as well, using that blink upgrade. DTs in the main base do get a couple of probe kills. 7 here in total so far, but I don't think they've really paid for themselves yet. Shadow Stride, however, is going to finish up in 10 seconds. Gateway is still powered by another pylon over here that has completed that wall off. DTs over here, can they get out? Bloop. Aw, he could have gotten out. But in the end, it doesn't really matter. Gerald is the one with an expansion. Astrea doesn't have one. So Gerald obtains the victory. Next up, we find ourselves on Safe Zone. And once again, Astrea, he spawned in as Protoss. Okay. Match point right here for Gerald. Let's have a look at Safe Zone. Ooh. Now that's an interesting natural. Where do you even wall? Do you wall in between this? That's a cooling tower. Cooling towers normally fall down. Maybe that falls to the left over here? I'm not exactly sure. So there are what we consider to be established standards, right? In map making. For example, you're expected to be able to wall off your natural with 3 3x3 structures. This is not so much because, you know, map makers aren't willing to create variety there or because pro players necessarily want it that way, but the maps have been balanced and the game has been balanced around being able to wall yourself in, right? So if, for example, suddenly a map requires you to have 4 structures, that is gonna throw everything you know about the game out of the window, and it will probably significantly affect the balance, and therefore players will not be all too keen to play on a map like it. I'm bringing it up mostly because I don't know how you wall this. I really feel like this is too much space. But I might be wrong. Obviously, they could add one little box over here too, and then maybe it would be a little bit more manageable. I'm assuming they've thought about it, right? The TLMC has rules as well. You can't just make whatever and then consider it, you know, consider it okay. In general, though, the fact that this is a very, it's like a corridor, right? It's a very flat piece of terrain over here that only has one entrance. Very funky. So how do you protect your 4th base? I guess you're gonna have to go all the way around? Gerald, by the way, has stolen one of his opponent's gases, and he's now going for a proxy pylon here. High-yield Vespian Geyser with rich mineral fields over here on the low ground too. There's a reptile crate walking around. Little snake on top of it. What are we gonna proxy, Gerald? Okay. Robo facility. Got a feeling, by the way, that this cast has been incredibly chaotic. Mostly because I'm trying to think out loud. Well, maybe I should have looked at these maps before I casted them. Nah, we're doing it live. We're doing it live in a YouTube video. It's a bit weird, but you get what I'm trying to say. Astrea is gonna have to hold this. He needs to figure out what he's playing against, and at this point he does not know. He hasn't scouted the cheese, which makes this all very difficult. How in the world would you wall this? I don't see how you wall this. Okay, shield battery coming up. The problem is not so much Protoss versus Protoss, or I guess the mirror matchups in general. Okay, he's gonna scout this, I think. Oh! Oh my god. No way! Oh no. Poor Astrea. Okay, well there's the Immortal coming up. He doesn't know. Yeah, no, that's a lot of problems that he's... There's no way, that's... The problem is that the pylon power field doesn't reach far enough. Astrea goes double pylon over here right now to complete the wall. Okay. Here's the first two adepts showing up. Adepts do get walled out. That is lovely work right there from Astrea. Preventing these units from coming in is going to be massive. Immortal already coming up as well. There's a probe on the watchtower. Astrea still has not seen the cheese. So he doesn't know what he's playing against, but he does know that his opponent hasn't expended. Now he sees this though. It's a bit funny, huh? Yeah, Immortal man, you're not supposed to be out here already. Let's try and bait him away as far as we can. This is so cursed. I don't think that this map is gonna do particularly well in the TLMC, and that's not necessarily because it's a bad map, but because it's very strange. I wonder what this cooling tower does, though. What if you destroy the cooling tower? Where does it fall down to? I'm not sure. Anyways, Prism. Ooh, after... Oh, careful now, Gerald. Careful now, Gerald! Okay, well, there's basically one thing that you can't do when you're playing a cheese like this. And that is lose the Prism, especially with the Immortal inside of it. I think that is also, though, because of the map layout. Okay, well, that's it. Hey, there we go. Astrea gets to play a little bit of Terran. We're on a map called Sidetracked. Fair enough. Ooh, is this like the Heroes of the Storm map? There's train tracks going through the center of it. Oh god, look at these train tracks. That is not a map feature we see very often. Okay, well, I don't recommend you go into the train either. Seems like a bad plan. Oh, that is cool. And a little distracting. I wonder if we'll actually see a train driving the tracks. That would be amazing. Astrea, by the way, going for a proxy gateway. Man, these guys don't really give me a lot of time to look around either, do they? It would actually be kind of cool if there was a train moving around. That would be kind of sick. Okay. Gerald's gonna see here that his opponent is Terran. Always nice. He sees the lack of, well, structure here on top of the high ground, and he sees the double gas too. So, double gas could honestly mean that he wants to go into a proxy factory as well if he wants to. I mean, it's an option. I'd be very surprised. Nah. Gerald scouts this out immediately, so that's huge. If he can force the council on this this barracks, if he can kill the SCV, that would be massive, but I think it's gonna finish. Yep. Losing that SCV before the barracks finishes up is basically game over. Because at that point, Gerald would have to send Astrea would have to send a new SCV to finish the structure, and then he could finally tack up on the back of it, but it would be a little too late. Anyways, knowing that he's being cheesed, though, is really nice right here for Gerald. Yeah, he doesn't really need to freak out all too much. It's just a single barracks, nothing all too crazy. Factory over here as well. Probe is gonna get locked in here. Poor guy. But there's the Nexus. Okay. I've been looking at the train tracks, but not really the map layout. This map looks a lot more conventional. Albeit with... Oh, there's a rocks over here on a rich Vespian geyser. That is interesting. It's not really a map where you can easily take a 5th base. So, for example, Gresvin, right, or some of the maps that we've seen over the last couple of years, they have relatively easy to take 5th bases. I think Maganatha had one too. God, that map name is so ugly. Sorry. I don't even know what it means. I don't think it means anything. I guess this naturally is your 5th. So you kind of take this section of the map if you're Protoss. But you don't really have options as far as that goes. Yeah. It's not bad though. You can definitely expand here. Taking expansions after that point is going to be harder. They're also more exposed, but I guess to make up for it being more exposed, we got golden minerals. Ooh, apparently we had some Widowmine shenanigans over here as the Zealot was ready to get his hands dirty. Okay. This looks pretty cool, actually. Yeah. Very pretty map. Like, we kind of get spoiled as StarCraft 2, well, viewers and commentators and players and everything, right? Like, we kind of get spoiled with how good the maps look these days. That's because it's a pretty competitive scene. The map makers out there, it's not just about the layout anymore. In the early days of StarCraft 2, is he gonna try? Yeah, nicely done. That's very dangerous, but it worked out. There's a second Widowmine, however, so maybe not ideal. Anyhow, Yeah, we've gotten very spoiled with how good the maps look. So, I obviously make a lot of YouTube videos, right? If you aren't subscribed yet, I try to post new videos pretty much every day. Make sure you hit the subscribe button so you get notified as soon as future videos are live. I had to chrono boost that out. Here's the thing. This is something I look at, and I don't think really a lot of people look at, but I do specifically look at this. Some maps have a very strange white balance. So the map that we were previously on, Safe Zone, Safe Space, whatever it was called, that one had like a weird reddish hue. It's really difficult to make thumbnails of maps like that. It sounds silly, I know, but this is something that I look at while casting these games. And these colors on this map, Widow Mine drop, they look very natural to me. They look really good. But yeah, we've definitely gotten spoiled. Great defense right there, by the way, from Gerald. Nothing all too surprising, of course. These European Protoss players play against this shenanigans all day, every day. He's now going for Blink. But yeah, if you compare the maps in 2023 compared to what we used to play on back in the early days of StarCraft 2, it's insane, man. So back in the day, Blizzard was in charge of making maps, right? And you can imagine that, well, employing somebody to make maps is not only gonna take a lot of time and it's gonna be pretty expensive, but they're also, it's very difficult to hire for a position such as that, right? Plus, the guy in charge of the maps would eventually get shouted at as well. I don't think they ever let us know who specifically made the map. Or the maps in general, I guess. We never really had a name, I don't think. But you can imagine, like, for example, David Kim, who was in charge of the multiplayer balance. That man was basically bullied by the community for like 5+ years until he eventually quit. Like, he was not having a good time. Anyways, at some point, Blizzard decided, maybe it was David Kim who made the maps, I don't know. Maybe, was it, oh yeah, right. So, at some point, Blizzard decided, yo, we're gonna just do these map tournaments instead, because we can see what the community comes up with instead. And ever since that moment, the quality of the maps has gone up significantly. Because obviously, since you have a public judging phase as well, right, where viewers of the maps get to vote on them, viewers are obviously, well, gonna look at not just the map layout, but they're also gonna look at the different map features, the unique attributes that the maps have, and on top of that also, just how good the map looks, right? Which I think is actually one of the coolest decisions Blizzard has ever made as far as StarCraft goes, to outsource it to the community, to put a little bit of trust in the community to do the right thing. Can we kill that? We're not even gonna try? I think we could have killed I think we could have killed it, Gerald. Maybe he assumed there was a little bit more space here. Yeah, he just completely missed it. That was not ideal. Okay, anyways. +1, combat shields, stim pack, all of it is finishing up. Astrea actually playing a really stellar game so far here with the Terran pieces. This map looks really nice. I mean, I keep getting sidetracked. You're welcome. Hit the like button, guys. That was an hilarious joke. Don't lie to me. You thought it was funny. No, you didn't? Okay, fine. You didn't. This map looks really good, though. I actually really do like the look of it. Server gets spotted? Astrea's on point, man. The only thing Astrea needs to worry about is the disruptors. Okay, Widow Mine drop over here, getting some work in as well. Fair enough. Hello, can we get the probes back to mining? Okay. Well, if he doesn't, he's gonna be in a lot of trouble. Okay, he does get them back to mining right now. Stim pack, combat shields, the whole shebang is done. I don't think this is the entire Terran army, though. There's definitely a lot more supplies somewhere else. Okay, we're gonna go for some reinforcements over here. Careful, Astrea, you gotta make sure you don't overextend. Is he gonna drop the Protoss main base? Astrea winning with Terran, by the way, against Gerald would be sick. Gerald is genuinely amongst the very best Protoss players on the European server. And the difference between 6.5k and like 5.9k, I think is what Astrea's MMR is with Terran. It's significant. Like, that's like basically a full league. So far, though, he looks good. Oh, interference matrix. Lovely work right here by Astrea. Distraction on the one end, 14 probe kills on the other, on the other end. Gotta enunciate my words. This is sick. Okay. Third command center at this point done as well. Maybe this is sick. Maybe this is Astrea secretly throwing in a little bit of balance wine as well, right? Protoss players over the last couple of weeks have been complaining. Well, really, StarCraft players in general complain a lot, but they've been complaining about the PvT matchup. Obviously, Astrea plays this from the Protoss perspective a lot, so he definitely knows where Protoss is at its weakest. But let's just say that Terran players are, at the pro level at the very least, having a good time against Protoss in the current meta. Okay, good cleanup over there, but that Nexus may very well fall. I wouldn't be surprised, yeah. You can target it, Astrea. There you go. Probe's get recalled and out of there. That's Gerald basically saying, okay. That's the end of that base. He does have another Nexus over here. Could easily get killed by Astrea as well with his other units. He just doesn't realize that it's up there. Yeah, okay. Astrea a little bit late on the armory, so his +2 has not started up yet, which does kind of suck for him. But other than that, this game has been going really lovely here for our Terran player. Storm coming up for Gerald. Already though, we have Ghost on the production tab, which I don't like this for Gerald. Yeah, Astrea is very far ahead at this point. Gerald is gonna need to hit a banger of a disruptor hit, and it's difficult to pull that off. Okay, maybe. 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 Maybe he's gonna. Maybe. Yeah. He's gonna go fishing. Oh god. Okay. That's pretty good, man. Astrea realized 5 seconds later. That was a funny interaction. I think Gerald believed that his opponent was playing, you know, Disruptor Chicken. He could have fired a little bit sooner, but he's like, nah, there's no way this guy isn't paying attention. And he's like, you know what? I'll just give it a try. Okay, well, that's a good start. That's a good beginning of what could be a comeback. Okay. Astrea also has found out about this base, of course. Here's another Disruptor. I think Gerald can... Nah, he can start thinking about breaking it. The 4 siege tanks are scary. And obviously there's still that Raven up in the air too. This is a really, really feisty Terran army though. Okay. Well, maybe Astrea made a mistake and maybe he did lose like 20 supply worth of stuff for free. But he still has an awful lot of units. Not enough medevacs though to pick up, so he's gonna need to stand and fight, I guess. I don't know if I like that all too much. Yeah, no, these storms are killer. The fact that Ravens can disable 2 Colossi for just a little bit of energy is actually an insane balance decision. Like, I look at these engagements all the time. That Raven has been incredibly obnoxious with the harassment, right? But the fact that it can disable 2 Colossi for energy is kind of nutty. Yeah, I don't know if I agree with that. Anyways. Here's finally the Ghost showing up. A little late to the party. Colossi also Colossi kind of suck, right? Like, maybe that's my problem here. They just don't seem to do a lot of damage. Those guys, as big as skyscrapers, are shooting lasers at a Ghost there for like, it seemed like 30 seconds. Finally it died. Anyways, I'm not a Protoss versus Terran balance expert. But, I'm starting to feel bad for the Protoss players out there, because some of it does look really tricky. Oh, good feedbacks right there. Yeah, we don't really see a lot of Storm play anymore, so it was very effective just now, but as soon as the Ghosts come out, the High Templar just don't serve much of a function anymore. Anyways, this is an excellently played game here, though, from Astrea. He's now got the 4th command center up and running. This is still 3-base Protoss. I don't really see a way in which Gerald is going to be able to come back, which is insane to say, considering this is Astrea's off race. Yeah, Sidetrack looks excellent. I really like this map. Now, previously, I have been judging some of those Team Liquid maps as well, or some of those maps from the map contest. And I have not done a particularly good job, apparently, because the maps that I thought were really good didn't rank particularly well, and the maps that I thought were pretty bad did incredibly well in the tournament overall. So, you know, you gotta take whatever I'm saying in this video with a grain of salt. I think there's plenty of salt, though, that you can harvest right now from the Protoss players in the comment section. Is there enough? There's no way there's enough. Astrea is heavily outperforming his opponent here. Maybe the man is secretly planning a little bit of a Terran switch, man. He's been incredibly good at playing Protoss over the years, but maybe Terran is his actual calling. The rubber match. We find ourselves on Ultra Love. Ultra Love? Really? That's the map name? Ultra Love. Does this map maker just really love Ultras? Why Ultra Love? Why not Super Love or Giga Love? Or why Ultra? Must be the Ultralisk. It has happened, by the way, in the past, that map names got changed before they were actually used on the ladder. For example, one map maker in a previous TLMC made a map called Frost Giant right after Stormgate was announced. And yeah, Blizzard didn't really like that map name as far as I know, so they changed it. So they changed it to the map name Inside and Out. Some of you may remember. That's a couple of seasons ago at this point. But yeah, Frost Giant LE would have been kind of funny, but apparently it didn't make it. I don't know if the map maker changed it though before it was actually chosen or after they got criticism for it. I'm not exactly sure, but I thought it was funny. Ultra Love. If I have to make a map name tier list, Ultra Love is pretty bad. I'm sorry. Maybe I should talk about the layout though. Gotta say, I mean, this is a map with a bit of a bluish hue, right? You can kind of tell the contrast is kind of high. Difficult map to make thumbnails off, I can tell you that much, but not as hard as Safe Zone, Safe Place, whatever the map was called. Very cool bluish effects over here. I'm very glad that this map isn't too dark. It is definitely dark, especially compared to the maps we've seen today. But it's not too dark, I don't think. We've had maps in the past. There was one map called Acolyte, I think? Acolyte? That made it to the map pool. That I couldn't play on high graphic settings because it was too dark. So for that map alone, I needed to drop down my graphics to the absolute lowest. Because on low, you could actually see your units. Maybe I was, yeah, whining about it a bit too much. That was also when I was trying to be very competitive still. I didn't like that map mostly because I couldn't distinguish my Zerglings from my opponent's Zerglings, okay? It looked very pretty, but it wasn't very playable. This map, yeah, I wouldn't mind it if it was a little bit less gloomy. But again, it does look pretty. And most of the pros do play on the low graphic settings. So maybe it's okay. Luckily though for Astrea, he spawned in as Protoss. Which is gonna make all of this more manageable. Very interesting little river over there too. Okay, so main base, large main base, little jump up pad over here, natural over here, standard ramp, third base option, third base option. Where do you take your fifth? I guess this is the only good choice. I've got a feeling that some of these bases are a little too spaced apart. Like too much space in between them. As a Zerg player, I don't think I get too bothered by it. Because, well, Zerg players are, you know, nasty. Gross. But they also have very fast-moving units. Rumor has it that Zerg players don't shower. Did you guys know that? And I can indeed confirm this. I don't like hurting my Earth Shield. I mean, I've played enough World of Warcraft to know that my Earth Shield provides additional healing, no? I can call myself a shaman. Nice little bit of micro, actually, there by Astrea. Keep in mind, Astrea was actually 2-0 behind at the start of this series. Well, after 2 games, he was 2-0 behind. Right now, he finds himself in a pretty good spot. Gerald did get a couple of probes on his opponent's side of the map, though. That is pretty sweet. Astrea might just actually be breaking through this here. Shield battery is going to finish up here for Gerald. I have a hard time telling if these structures are powered right now. I mean, I know that at this point they aren't. But that's mostly because the pylons, obviously... The color changes. Yeah, the color does change quite significantly. Okay, maybe I'm just whining then. I like bright maps, that's what I'm saying. Here's that Oracle showing up, though, as well from Gerald. 14 probes were just killed on the side of Astrea, though. He ends up losing way more there than he was originally intending. As long as Gerald manages to prevent these units from breaking his wall... Oh, there's the battery overcharge. He's gonna be okay. But this is also a pretty difficult thing to achieve. Astrea at this point has got his own Nexus here on the low ground too. He's gone into the Blink upgrade. It's only about halfway done. Gerald is still trying to maneuver himself around his own natural expansion. The numbers are just not here for our Protoss player from Poland. Ooh, yeah, there you go. He's from Rivia, right? Which is in Poland, I believe. Another pylon will end up going down. I think Astrea has done it. I think Astrea has just come back from a 2-0 deficit to come out and then win the series. 3-2. That's insane. One of the games won with Terran as well, right? That is so sick. Oracle showing up once again for Gerald. Okay. I mean, the probe kills are really nice, and it's gonna slow down the reinforcements here of our American, but as long as he doesn't have a way to address all of these stalkers, I don't see how Gerald is gonna be able to win the game. So he's made an Immortal in the main, fair enough. Immortals are gonna be super nice, but that also means he's mostly giving up the natural expansion. Okay, a second Immortal is coming up. Shield battery also coming up inside of the main base. Blink is done though. I think you can blink on top of this, Astrea, if you want to. Yeah, there you go. Okay, he wants to bait the probes from coming out. Or, well, he wants to bait them to come out. I think he could have jumped the Immortal and then probably would have won the game right away. Yeah. Oracle at this point has once again, though, done a lot of damage. 7 kills on that bad boy in total. Okay, do we have enough? We're gonna have to retarget that battery here. Can he still warp in reinforcements? I mean, the amount of probe kills actually has been very significant. Yeah, 21 workers were killed. Astrea still has 29 though. And at this point, he doesn't really need to continue fighting on his opponent's side of the map either. You know what? Gerald has sort of stabilized here. You'll love to see it. Okay. Oracle coming back in for more. Just target firing however much he can. Sick. We're apparently not done yet, though. Astrea maybe pushed back with his stalkers, but now he's starting to be annoying inside of the opponent's main base with adepts as well. The hero shield battery here is nice, but as long as you're in sync with your target firing here... Okay, well, he isn't there. But as long as you are in sync, you can indeed, well, shut down those probes, even with a battery. Charge is coming up right now. You know what? This is not as unplayable for Gerald as I thought it was. Yeah, no, he looked like he was down and out of this game. But those oracles of his have done a tremendous amount of work. Okay. Yeah, if we keep donating a few more of these units... he's trying to provide high ground vision, but that's a little dangerous. If he keeps donating too many of these adepts, I do think Gerald can go for one big timing. So, there's the battery overcharge once again. Gerald hasn't really gone for a whole lot of additional probe production. Yeah, Astrea's a dangerous boy. Very scary in these scenarios. Here, once again, man, how many pylons have gone down? 7 pylons have been killed at this point in the game. He's got a third Nexus now, also about halfway done on the other side of the map in the meantime. Blink in the main? Yep, saving the Adept over here. You'll love to see it. Immortals are now gonna have to run all the way around. Gerald wants to go after that pylon. That would be really nice. Okay, looks like the Robo facility could go down. Oh, decides to go around. Okay, Robo does go down, and we're gonna recall the Stalkers on out of there. That's 2 Stalkers going down on the retreat. Third Nexus is going to finish up momentarily. You know what? I thought this game was over like 4 minutes ago. But props to Gerald. He's actually got a scary army here. If he can get a Prism out, then he can start juggling some of those Immortals. I actually wouldn't hate it for him to go for just one big push. Problem is, he just lost his Robo facility. Yeah, he did make an Observer. Maybe a little bit scared of a Dark Templar follow-up once again. Nice little bit of micro here as well, though. Coming out of Astrea once again. Getting so much value out of such small armies. Okay. Here goes Gerald. Look at the little pathway over here, too. Kind of cool. Ultra Love looks pretty good, actually. I wish it was a bit easier, though, to take expansions past your 4th. I mean, maybe it's not as hard as I think it is, but I feel like they're kind of far out. It's probably manageable, to be honest. A lot of choke points, though. And the map is, well, the map name is a little cringy to me, but maybe it's not so bad. Okay, this is apparently what Gerald has been building up for. He knows he needs to get damage done right now. Probes have already been pulled away from their mineral lines too here by Astrea. Astrea's immortal and, well, his zealot group over there does get denied, but I don't think it really matters. There's not that much available here for Gerald. There's even a, well, an adept, I think, was dealing some damage over there. Okay, the immortals, they get locked in on the ramp, and eventually it is Astrea who obtains the victory. Hey, let me know down below in the comment section of this video, which of these maps did you like the most? So we started off on Maganatha, then we had the Green Kingdom, Safe Zone, Sidetracked, and then we ended on Ultra Love.